no, what are these doing in here, Axel?
Nick Lowe lost his job.
All right, he's gone. Call him, fire him. All right, well, without any further ado, welcome to the X-Men panel. We appreciate everyone turning out. And WonderCon just been amazing, so thank you. Let me introduce the people up here on the dais. Marvel's editor-in-chief, Mr. Axel Alonso. There's me, C.D. Cebulski. I'll be your host. Wolverine writer, Mr. Jason Aaron. And the writer of X-Force, Mr. Rick Remender. So, we're going to go through a few slides here. We've got a couple announcements. Y'all ready? Yeah. Exciting stuff.
This video is brought to you by TFAW.com. Visit TFAW.com today and use the code WONDER at checkout to save $5 on your next purchase of $20 or more. TFAW.com.
All right. So, it's 2011, MMX1. And who's been reading Age of X? All right, like it? Mike Carey, Clay Mann, doing an amazing job with a new alternate universe for the X-Men. Coming up this summer, I'm going to let you speak a little more about this. As been announced online, maybe we can give a couple more details, a couple hints. X-Men First to Last.
Yeah, it's a story that spans 2 generations of X-Men and dealing with the same problem. I'm not going to say much more than that because there's too many spoilers involved. But if you like the classic Lee Kirby X-Men, here's a chance to see them rendered as you've never seen them before. You know, X-Men and Angel and Beast and all the rest. I'm not going to get into whether or not the 2 teams throw down, but it sure looks like they do there, right?
And the art's going to be by Paco Medina.
Paco Medina and
Dalibor Talajic. So here's a look at some of the pages. Oh, did they throw it down?
Huh.
And who's this mystery guy in front, Axel?
Oh, I can't think too much about him, but he's a character or a group of characters that span 2 to 3 generations of X-Men at this point and are a formidable threat. Let's put it that way.
Fantastic. All right, how many people still reading Uncanny X-Men? Our flagship book. Yeah. Well, as has also been announced, you know, we have Mr. Kieran Gillen, who's coming over to take on the X-Men as the full-time writer. So, sorry about the font there. But Matt Fraction has done an amazing job over the last, what's he done, 40 issues possibly? And he brought Kieran on to help him co-write the book, and then with Matt moving on to some other things, and some bigger, better things, Fear Itself and whatnot, then Kieran's going to be taking over the writing duties of the book himself. And Rick, I think our next slide is, I'm going to turn this over to you. The Dark Angel Saga. Got an image to go with that. What's going on?
What is going on? What is Archangel is the question. And, why did Apocalypse put it in Warren Worthington? And why have the X-Men been so comfortable allowing it in their midst? A lot of these questions are going to be answered. A lot of the Apocalypse mythology is going to be unraveled and explained in ways it hasn't before. And X-Force are going to end up having to deal with a trip to the Age of Apocalypse, which has been a lot of fun, working on that with Mark Brooks. And then that leads into the last 5 issues of the arc, which will be Jerome Opinion. And, yeah.
I think there's another slide coming up. One sec. So, Fear Itself X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, Kieran Gillen and Carlos Pacheco is going to be coming out later this summer. The image there is by Humberto Ramos, and gives you a little hint of something drastic that's going to be happening in the X-Men universe. I don't think there's much more we can say about that, is there, Axel? And Rick, this comes back to you. As you just mentioned, the Age of Apocalypse there.
Yeah. We're going to end up in the Age of Apocalypse as the team are forced to hunt something down to aid in the current situation with Warren and Archangel, which has been brewing in the series for some time now. I think there's a lot of twists and turns coming in this. It's been one of the most fun things I've written, and I think fans will enjoy it. It's 10 years later, so the Age of Apocalypse has changed quite a bit since the last time we saw it, and I think that there are some unexpected twists and turns coming up in this one.
How many of you reading Uncanny X-Force?
Brooks is going to be drawing that story, correct?
Yeah, Mark Brooks' pages are, I mean, I don't know, but he must not be doing anything but drawing. They're just so amazing. So much love being dumped into it. So this will be 3 issues, and it'll be the Dark Angel Saga breaks down into 3 issues inside the Age of Apocalypse, and then 5 issues elsewhere. And so we've got Mark Brooks and Jerome Pena jumping back on that. So stuff so far is pretty fantastic.
And S.I. Ribbit will be continuing on as the cover artist, because those are just gorgeous, right? Yeah, so awesome. All right, next up, X-Men Legacy. We're approaching X-Men Legacy 250, a key anniversary issue. And there's going to be a lot going on in the book. I know Mike Carey's been doing an amazing job. Once we return from Age of X, there's going to be some big changes on the team. When we can hint at a little bit there, some new characters joining the cast. And that's going to continue to be drawn by Clay Mann with art by Koi Fan. Another fan favorite title, New Mutants. I'm a huge New Mutants fan. Who's with me on there? Come on. All right. Beautiful wraparound cover by Marko Djurdjevic, starting with issue 25. The new creative team will be debuting. Did we announce that? I think we have, right? Yeah, it's Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning with art by Leo Fernandez. So there's some amazing stuff coming up, New Mutants, and I say that truly believing it because I'm a huge fan and very hard on Nick how he treats the characters. So I read every script and really enjoying it. So next up. Oh, one more hint here, sorry. Something else is going to be coming up in New Mutants. Peter David's X Factor. And a lot of people in the book. We appreciate your support. Peter's been having an amazing run on the book. There's definitely some changes coming up with this book as well, as you can see here. Guido's not going to fare too well from what I think. And also, the next New Mutants kit. We're finally going to deal with the issue of Reign with Wolfsbane and her baby, and you're going to see more of the Marvel Universe come into play in the X Factor book. So thanks for all your support of X Factor. Let's see what we got next. Wolverine. Jason. This is the Wolverine families of books, Wolverine, X-23, and Daken. Jason, you've been writing Wolverine. It's been absolutely fantastic. You want to talk a little bit about what you got coming up?
Sure. The arc going on right now is Wolverine versus the X-Men, which is a big fight with people punching Wolverine in the face. And then as you can see, there's something going on with Wolverine and Mystique there. One of the first Wolverine things I did was get Mystique, the story of Wolverine chasing her and maybe killing her and leaving her for dead. This is very much a sequel to that. And this is kind of a huge moment in Wolverine and Mystique's relationship. And after that, more stabbing with the claws and more blood and crazy, dark, bad things happening to Wolverine.
And X-23 is going to continue to be written by Marjorie Liu. We're going to have 2 upcoming artists we're very excited about. Sana Takeda is going to be painting 3-issue art, and then Mr. Phil Noto is going to be coming on to take over some artistic chores on that book. And for Dark Wolverine and Daken, after a very successful run through Dark Wolverine and then through Daken, the creative team of Marjorie Daniel and Giuseppe Camicoli are going to be taking a hiatus on the book, and fantastic writer Rob Williams will be taking over. And there's some amazing an amazing art plan for Daken. I don't know if you want to give away too much. Exactly. So we'll be getting more information about that out very soon online.
Yeah, keep your eye on Rob. He's fantastic, a fantastic emerging writer.
Deadpool, the Merc with a Mouth. You can't get enough of Deadpool, can you? So few books, exactly. He's just, so not only is he appearing in Rick's book as part of X-Force, but he's in his own book now, Deadpool, still written by Daniel Way, Bong Dezo, and a lot of interesting stuff coming up on him for him. No Great Lakes X-Men, sorry. Uh-oh, Schism. Schism, that's a word that's been thrown around a lot recently, huh? Well, this is Prelude to Schism. It is a 4-issue miniseries written by Paul Jenkins with 4 different artists, covers by Giuseppe Camicoli. And this is going to be the prelude to a bigger event we have coming up. Are we going to be able to possibly talk about that?
No.
Uh-oh. 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 There we go. Ooh. X-Men Schism. It's our big event starting later this year. And as you can see, it's going to be written by Jason here. And it's going to be 5 issues, each with art by one of the top Marvel's top artists. First issue by Carlos Pacheco, second issue by Frank Cho, who's also doing the 5-part connecting cover. Third issue by Adam Kubert, Alan Davis, and Daniel Acuna. So Jason.
I think Adam's actually doing issue 5.
Oh, Adam's doing issue 5, right, exactly. So you want to tell us a little bit about what's going on, Axel and Jason?
Well, you know, this is a story that's been building for a while, as we've seen, you know, Scott Summers kind of come into his role as general and leader of the X-Men. We've seen Logan embracing the role as his #1 soldier, doing whatever he needs to do, you know, to see Scott's vision through. When Schism opens, we see these guys as Butch and Sundance. They are as close and as tight as they've ever been in their long, you know, murky history together. And then something happens. Something happens that puts some cracks in that relationship. I can't say what or who's involved. There are lots of giant robots involved, but beyond that, things just blow up, and we see these guys having to fight it out, work it out, argue it out, scream it out, and who knows where things go from there. Hug it out. There's lots of hugging.
If you guys like hugging, this is the book
The book for you.
And Jason, that kicks off in July?
Yes, I think so, yes.
Yeah, we've been building to this for years now. And, you know, Scott has carried a huge burden, you know, leading the mutant race back from the verge of extinction. But it's inevitable he's going to pay a price for that. We've been very careful over the last few years with X-Men to set up an almost military structure for the X-Men with one general at the top. You know, people are free to debate, but at the end of the day, it comes down to Scott's calls. That may very well change in Schism and will change the trajectory for the X-Men for a while. Cool.
And we got one more announcement here coming up. We were saving this one for WonderCon because we've just been blown away. Axel here is a San Francisco native, a hometown boy, Niners fan.
When the Giants won the series, I gotta tell you.
And as you know, Marvel's always at the forefront of discovering new talent and original voices here in comics, and also pushing the boundary with a lot of kind of cool projects, you know, outside the box. So I've been talking to a new writer who's here from San Francisco. Special surprise just for WonderCon. There he is in the background. So Wolverine's going to be teaming up for an adventure here in San Francisco, set in and around the entire city. Written by one of the natives who happens to be one of your groundbreaking chefs and Food Network stars, Mr. Chris Cosentino from Encanto. Chris, you want to come on up? Art is going to be drawn by Tim Seeley. Give a big round of applause for Chris.
This particular issue, the 5th quarter, will be very food-centric, very San Francisco located. Everything will be happening in this city. I'm very proud to be from this city. Not born and raised, unfortunately, but we're going to have a lot of fun with this one. I think it's going to push some boundaries.
You've got to get it to La Taqueria on 25th and Mission.
We got some other good spots going on. It's an honor for me to actually have the opportunity to write a comic book. I grew up being infatuated with Wolverine, so it's a huge honor for me. As a little kid, I used to sit there and stare at my hands.
Now it's becoming a reality.
Now it's becoming a reality. I actually get to have a little fun, so hopefully you all enjoy this one.
Cool.
So what would Wolverine's favorite place to eat in San Francisco be?
You know,
Not to put you on the spot.
You know, it also depends. I mean, there's such a long history with him and so many cultures that he's stepped his feet in that I think he has so much food loves all over Japan, Germany, each one is going to affect him. So I don't think there's going to be one favorite.
Cool. And the 5th quarter will be debuting. It'll be a digital comic available on iPods, iPads, and every digital medium coming this June, it looks like. So. All right, and if we could get the lights back up a little, we are going to go to questions and answers. As you know, the panels are only as entertaining, as enjoyable as you guys make them. We're here to answer questions. Anyone on the panel about anything X-Men related, any questions you have, as broad as you want to be or as specific you want to be to anything greater. So there's a mic right here. If you guys would like to line up, we'll get the questions rolling.
Okay, my question is, I'm a very big fan of the TV series that you've had in the 90s and in the 2000s, the original X-Men on Fox, the X-Men Evolution and Wolverine and the X-Men.
Yep.
And I was wondering if you're going to be putting out another X-Men TV series.
The answer to that is yes, we will. I'm not sure if we announced yet. I saw the posters in the Marvel booth. I think the announcement of the upcoming new X-Men animated TV series is going to happen at the television panel later today. Jeff Loeb, I think, is going to be announcing that one. So if you want to come to the panel later today, I think it's room 103 at 3:30. You'll be able to get that question answered for you. Sorry, I can't spill anything here.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm a giant fan of pretty much everything I've heard you guys are for Mrs. Wolski. I love the loners. It was awesome.
Thank you.
I love that. I started noticing X-Men when I was 4 years old watching the cartoon show, so thank you. And I love Ghost Rider and Wolverine. Thank you. And you're good too. I was just wondering, I'm a huge fan of the students of X-Men. Like I love the whole new X-Men, Academy X, everything up through there. And I just want to know, can you do more Rockslide and Animal like team up? Because those you guys are like the best friends of ever.
I don't know, can we?
Read Schism. A lot of the students play a big role in Read Schism.
Cool. Thank you.
I have to be off topic a little bit, but my question's for you, Rick. I'm excited that Venom's back. He's got his own series. I'm a child of the 90s. So I'm a fan of the original Venom, so I'm wondering if we're going to see Eddie Brock come back anytime in the series.
Yes. There is a lot of interconnectivity between Venom and the upcoming Spider Island story, which is a good one. It's a lot of fun. It speaks to everything I like about comic books. It's big, it's healthy, it's a lot of fun. I think that the way that we find Eddie will be surprising, but there are some moments coming up that I think you'll be happy.
So it'll be real soon?
I don't want to give anything. I like it if it's a sharp turn when you're not expecting it. But one of those turns will lead to Eddie.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm a big fan of Iceman, and I was wondering if, a couple years ago we had Mike Carey write him, he writes like the best Iceman possible, and then he says, we had the Manifest Destiny, and he said, okay, in full control of my powers, and then the next time we see him, his Matt Fraction has him, unable to freeze a fish. So my question is essentially, are we going to either have Mike Carey writing him in some kind of significant role soon, or just any kind of consistency to his powers?
I'll say you will most definitely see Iceman in a significant role in the X universe later this year.
A lot of Iceman. And Jason and I have spent a lot of time talking about Iceman and ideas on how to give him a larger role that's brilliant, that speaks to what you probably enjoy.
And that explores his powers. So you'll see a full exploration of what he can do. I love Iceman. I'm with you. So yeah, I think you'll be happy.
We spent a lot of time talking about it.
We do. We spend more time talking about Iceman than two dudes probably should.
Just two dudes sitting over coffee.
Talking about Iceman and hugging each other.
All of a sudden with shirts on.
Okay, so this question.
You mean the Iceman from Top Gun? Is that
right? That's what we're talking about, right?
Wait, what?
So this question's for all of you, but I guess mostly for Axel. You gonna let Wolverine have a cigar anytime soon?
I'm working on it. I'll just put it that way.
Thanks.
I'm the new editor-in-chief, so.
Two questions. One, are you guys going to write in any more Gambit? And two, the continuity through the X-Men series, both Uncanny and regular X-Men, which is now Legacy, has usually been really good. You see the teams kind of back and forth, but lately it's almost like they're not in the same universe. Could you guys kind of explain, is the continuity going to be fixed, or do you guys plan on bringing them in two separate paths?
Which books are you talking about specifically?
Legacy and Uncanny?
Legacy and Uncanny. There's been an attempt to make sure that they are aligned.
Yeah,
Just be specific about areas.
Well, with like recently you guys had the new X-Men with the X-Men when they're Curse of the Mutants, and you have an Uncanny, you have Quarantine where some of the X-Men are sick, and I'm just kind of...
yeah, well, no, what they are is there are stories that occur at different pockets of time.
Okay.
You know, one appears on Monday, the other appears on Tuesday. You know, again, it's never, we're trying to do with the extra money, we always try and do is just provide a lot of different flavors of books. The goal isn't that you'll buy all of them, although we'd love that. The goal is you'll find one that you like. So, you know, I'd say that we're very careful not to make sure that we're being repetitive and hitting the same notes. Otherwise, why have the different books? You know, Uncanny X-Force has a completely different mission statement, even from its previous incarnation. You follow me? Uncanny X-Men, Uncanny X-Force. Uncanny X-Men it's continuity central. It's the place where the major developments happen, with the exception of the larger events like Schism or Messiah Complex. You know, and the X-Men Legacy, the beauty of what Mike has done is he's able to give the richer, deeper reading experience for the Uber fan. You know, with characters who aren't playing as prominent roles in Uncanny or Wolverine or elsewhere. So, you know, adjectiveless X-Men, you know, the one that had the vampires, that's really about just integrating X-Men into the Marvel universe, bumping shoulders with big superhero characters like Spider-Man. You get it?
Yeah, thank you very much.
And with Gambit, I mean, he's been appearing in X-Men Legacy, but also keep an eye on X-23 because Marjorie Liu's a huge Gambit fan, and she's got some amazing stuff coming up with him in that series.
Hi there, I just want to say you guys are doing a great job. I'm a big fan of Prima Shapandar. And last time we saw her in X-Men Legacy, she got kind of destroyed, more or less, and she's kind of in a tube. And I was just wondering if there's any plans for her in the future, any significant plans?
You know, she's a character that Mike Carey created, and that he has a near and dear love for. And to put her through the ringer in that last arc was tough for him. And she might be down, but I don't think she's out. We just have to wait and see. You know, there's always Mike's got a lot of plans in store, and if she's a part of it, I can't say for sure. But if I had to guess, I'd say probably.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, I just want to say I'm a big X-Men fan, and I'm really happy to see a Marvel booth here finally. But I have super happy to see that Marvel booth here. But I have a question for my friend first. He wanted me to ask if we'd see more of the Bay Area in X-Men since they live around here. Like since we've mostly just seen like mostly Oakland, Marin County, and San Francisco, maybe more of the Peninsula, the South Bay.
It's funny, I keep on Nick all the time. I'm like, come on, see some more San Francisco. And I think there's definitely an attempt to do that, but I guess sometimes, honestly, you know, speaking from the heart as a San Franciscan, I wish I saw more of it. And I continue to remind Nick, let's get more in here. You know, I want to see Raiders jerseys, I want to see Warriors jerseys, you know.
Yeah, I want to be able to like see my house, my street.
We'll destroy your house and your street.
Yeah, that'd be great. But the question I wanted to ask was if Hope would be interacting with the students, because I love the students, well, pre-Hope, but if she'd be interacting or she's going to be hanging around with her 5 lights, I guess.
Yeah, read Schism. Hope and the 5 lights are a big part of it, as well as some of the other students. So.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is Jean Grey a big part of Schism because they always seem to sort of be arguing about her?
Jean Grey, do you want to answer that question? No comment from Jean Grey right here in the front.
You kind of look like Jean Grey yourself, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I like.
You have green eyes? We can't say much about Jean Grey this last part, but Jason, take it away.
Go pick up the new issue of Wolverine, but probably not going to see Jean in Schism.
You will be seeing Jean in the Age of Apocalypse storyline that I'm doing. You'll see the AOA Jean and the AOA Nightcrawler and Sabretooth. There's some interesting stuff coming up.
Okay.
Hey guys. I was just wondering, some of my favorite stories are kind of like fringe stories that aren't so interlaced with continuity. Like Punisher Max with Ennis, Get Mystique was one of my favorite stories. Greg Rucka, his run on Wolverine was amazing. I was wondering if there's any more plans for like maybe some Wolverine stories or like any other single characters that's gonna just be kind of like stories all on their own that aren't so connected with big events and stuff like that.
Well, Wolverine, the best there is, which is in stores now, like Charlie Huston. Yeah, Charlie Huston. That's exactly what that book is. It's a story that takes place in its own window of time, and it's 12 issues, and all said and done, it tells one big story with a real super ending. So yeah, we do that. You know, Wolverine and Jason put together Wolverine Goes to Hell. We originally envisioned a story just involving Wolverine for Tyler. But it ended up having such scope that we were stupid to try and tie it in with the other tales. But yeah, we definitely try and do that. You know, Adjectiveless X-Men is a book that's not very much wrapped up in continuity. You know, it's independent missions, you know, the beginning, the middle, and the end, which we try.
Yeah, we do make a very concerted effort to make sure that, you know, even if there's people that don't want to buy the events or aren't that much into continuity, there's always something on the shelves for them to enjoy where they can just walk in and pick it up. We call them evergreen or, you know, timeless stories, and there's things like also Loki, that's under big, Namor, the Depths. There's always something out there of that nature. And like Chris's story, the fifth quarter is going to be completely on its own. You don't have to know anything about Wolverine to pick it up and read it. It's going to be set in its own time frame.
While we continue to do that, the thing is we need you guys to support that type of material. Because really right now, the momentum in the market is on where you guys are willingly going into stores to buy stuff that counts. You follow me? All wrapped up and timed up. So again, we tend to give fans what we see you guys want. So, you know, if you're a big fan of something like Wolverine's Best There Is, let other people know, get the word out, because we need your support for books like that.
For sure, and that stuff is great, definitely. Anybody in here too that isn't buying it, stuff like that, pick it up. It's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say that I really like what Jason and Rick are doing. It's two of my favorite X books at the moment. This question is kind of for Rick. The lineup on Uncanny X-Force, I mean, the team on Uncanny X-Force is an interesting bunch of characters.
Damaged goods, sure.
Yeah, and I mean, is that the primary reason you brought them together for their own book, or are there other factors that involve it? I mean, because from what I've read, Archangel seems to be a really integral character to the book, including Apocalypse as well. But are there any other reasons you brought them up?
The team was actually compiled, I think, at a retreat. It was based on a lot of factors. And ultimately, when I took on the book, it was a matter of looking. I'm an X-Men nerd, you know, going back 25 years now. So it was a matter of looking at what history was there and what I felt would be the strongest way to play the characters up. And one of the most intriguing aspects of that was, why is Archangel allowed to hang out with these guys? What is? They don't even know what it is. And Apocalypse put it in war, and they're like, hey, what's going on? You know, like, come on in, learn everything we're up to. So when things go sideways, that was an idea that Axel and Jody and I, the editors, came to early on in discussing it, was sort of delving more into things that had been a little unexplained, and then dealing with the whole, you know, when you think about all the connective tissue of Apocalypse, this cast connects to that fairly well, and so when you're building those things, they just sort of naturally came together. But I think that the running theme throughout each one of these characters is that they're damaged, is that each one of them have suffered some sort of, you know, terrible indignity or awful point in their life where they were corrupted, and so what they do so that their friends don't have to.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, and there's some membership changes coming up that I think you'll probably dig.
I met X-Men a few years ago after Jean Grey passed, and I've come back for Second Coming, and I've been really impressed with the way the direction of the comic book has been going. You've already answered the question about the 5 Lights and Schism. I'm excited about that. But there's been no mention as far as Hope's paternity. I mean, we've discovered a little bit about her mother right after Second Coming. Is there going to be any big bombshell dropped as far as who her father is? Or is there a bombshell to be dropped?
Obviously, I can't get into that. You are right. We've taken great pains to stay away from that subject because we want it to be a nuclear bomb when it happens. And we've had writers suggest various options. We've, since the beginning, had our mind's eye on a particular scenario. I think that who Hope is will come more and more into focus very soon through Schism and events beyond that. You know, at Marvel, when we're plotting one event or one large storyline, it usually has a ripple effect, and we can usually see further down that road. So, you know, back when we were planning Messiah Complex, way back in the day, we kind of sort of saw Schism coming. The seeds were always there. In the same light, as we began to get optics on who Hope was, and obviously the fact that she's got red hair and green eyes is relevant. You know, we got a much clearer sense of where we were headed and what our options are, who she is in the lineage. So you know, stay tuned, big stuff coming with her. She's very important. Obviously, she's repopulating the species now, and you know, both Cable and Bishop had you know, polar opposite visions of what she represents. You know, for Cable, she's the salvation of humankind. For Bishop, she's the apocalypse. Maybe who's right? Maybe both are. Thank you very much.
It's Deadpool, by the way. That's your call.
I got like sorry. I got like 3 questions. I've been reading the comics, and I got all the 2009 comics, and it was really amazing. All these things happened, and I was wondering about the acolytes. Now that you know Magneto has his powers, this is my first question. Will they get something going with Paris? And he led them, and then one time one of the X-Men went down there to investigate and check out what's going on. So I was wondering if the acolyte's going to come back.
I would keep reading X-Men Legacy, that Magneto's going to start playing a bigger integral part in that book, and the appearance of the acolytes can't be too far behind.
Oh, and my second question is about the Sublime group, those guys with the X gene, the quarantine thing. Will that come into play with bringing back Sublime back in a Weapon X facility and a Wolverine going back there and checking out what's going on?
I don't know. You tell me.
Rick, is there anything to add or no?
I'm sorry, I wasn't.
Sublime, any plans to use Sublime or any of his minions?
I don't have any plans for Sublime. Okay. The Grant Morrison stuff I've been grabbing is dealing with the world, the Phantom X and stuff. I think Matt is seeded some stuff with Sublime. I wouldn't be surprised if they pick back up.
Yeah, and Matt and Kieran's book that came out. So yeah, I think Kieran might want to pick up some of those seeds, but we'll have to wait and see. You might want to Twitter Kieran
every day, about every 5 minutes, just Twitter.
And one more question is, with Mr. Sinister inside Mrs. Sinister's body, and now that Hope has created other new mutant signatures on Cerebro, is Mr. Sinister going to come back and take charge and do something to capture her or capture them? Because he was really hot on capturing her in the Messiah complex.
So let's just say if he's alive, maybe. But obviously, you've got a lot of speculation in your questions, and it's not. I don't want to say, yeah. In fact, that's what we're planning. Uncanny X-Men 536. I mean, on the short of it is that anything's possible. You know these characters, you know their relationships. What we tend to do as you see is we like to give things a twist. So, you know, it's not far-fetched at some point in time, Mr. Sinister or Ms. Sinister or what have you is going to take an active interest in what's going on in the X-Men world and hopes at the middle of it. So we'll see.
Thanks a lot.
Hi, I've got a couple of questions of my own. The first one is, as a child of Claremont, I'm hugely into people like Storm and Psylocke, which, Render, you're doing a great job with her, by the way. Thank you very, very much. I'm wondering if there are any plans for Storm in the near future, like specifically?
Storm, I know, is also going to play a big role in David Liss's Black Panther arc. It's called Chasing Storm. We're going to be launching in a couple months, and I think she'll be popping up.
We all like Storm. I mean, when we have X retreats, there's always talk of Storm being involved in lots of stuff we have going on.
Excellent. And the other thing is, Utopia, the island has been pretty inconsistently designed. I was wondering if there was any plans to maybe finalize some sort of design on that so that one artist doesn't draw it one way and one artist draws it with another, or is that kind of the point to maybe create some sort of creative freedom for the artists?
There was a final design that we had originally when we created the island, but I think what's happened is over time, you know, it's built, it's grown, it's expanded, it's been knocked down, it's been beat up, it's been, you know, built back up, and it's constantly changing. So some of the elements have remained the same, but yeah, you know, it's just hard. It is a big place. So
it's kind of hard to keep Peter Parker's environment to be consistent.
Great. Thank you very much.
All right, Strife. Look at this.
So it's easy to see I'm a big fan of the Summers Clan, and at the end of Second Coming, when Cable exploded, pretty upset. And I noticed you guys left his arm behind that Hope was holding on to, and then we didn't see what happened to it. I'm wondering if there's a reason behind that, or what you can tell me about the future of Cable.
Paperweight.
I need my arch nemesis back, that's what I'm saying.
Gee, how to answer that? You want the answer? You don't really want the answer, do you? Yeah, there you go. I mean, yeah, there's an arm. Who the hell knows what happened to Cable? I mean, we would never bring back a dead character, you know that much. A special shout out to Nightcrawler over there.
Stand up, Nightcrawler. Give a wave. It's good to see you back.
And that disturbing man-song costume. Yeah, it plays out better on a comic book page than in real life.
Hi, just curious, what are your guys' favorite X-Men characters?
I'm going to start with me. I'm on the spot. My favorite, my number one favorite right now, Phantom X. I've really fallen in love with the character. And I know that of all the X-Men, I think it's probably from writing him, obviously. From a fan's perspective going in, and I was always a big fan of Colossus. I was always a big fan of Colossus. I was a teenager when I was reading that, so there was always like there was some connection to that.
You know, I'm diving into the X universe, getting to write a lot of these characters for the first time. So the ones I'm writing, I think my favorites are Kitty and Beast right now. Looking forward to doing more stuff with both of them.
Mine is Cyclops. A lot of pathos to that character, and I don't think he's ever been as simple as he's made seem in the past.
I like Danny Moonstar and Magic. Like I said, my heart's getting into this. That's what I like.
I'm a Wolverine fan. Hard and true, that's what I did.
Hi, yeah, I'm a gigantic X-Men fan, and you guys are doing an awesome job. Everybody on the panel's, awesome. I was just wondering if there's any plans I might have missed or something for Marrow. I'm kind of a big fan, and possibly maybe get her on a team like X-Force or X-Factor or something.
It's not a bad idea. I mean, we've got a giant list, and the story that I'm currently writing speaks to where some of the new members come from, and it's all very natural. I don't have any plans on X-Force right now, but it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, it would be awesome. Cool. Thanks.
Hello. Cyclops is actually my favorite X-Men character too, and I consider him to be the first X-Men. What was your guys' thought on X-Men not being a part of X-Men First Class, the movie that's coming out later this year?
We really can't speak too much to the movies. There's certain movies that we have a direct hand in, like Captain America and Thor, that are produced by Marvel Studios. But X-Men isn't with Fox. I believe I can speak wise. I was X-Men fans. I'd love to see him in it, but no, I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know what's coming on the screen.
Yeah, I mean, they're telling you really specific stories about those two guys when they were young guys, and how they came to where they are. So I'm going into it with an open mind. It is interesting to me that would be the next movie. I think it's risky, but I think there's a lot of meat on the bones of both of those character stories. So I'm curious to see how it plays out. I think the actors are talented. I hope it's better than Wolverine. We'll see what happens.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had a curiosity question. From the end of the Saga complex, Rogue basically drained all of Mystique, sort of the same way she did Carol Danvers, and for an issue or two, they had her actually have hallucinations of Mystique doing, as a ghost image. But almost a month later in Wolverine, you have the Get Mystique storyline. So, unlike Carol Danvers, who was in a coma for a long time and lost all her memory, Mystique seemed to have no effect. Is that something that's just going to be glossed over, or is that ever going to come back that Rogue's got part of Mystique's personality in her?
What he's saying is you blew it, Jason. It's not so much a question as it's a fun.
Well, I also stabbed her and left her for dead, and then she popped up like a month later. So things happen.
Jason's a lazy writer.
Just a lazy person in general. The Mystique's a tough gal, She can bounce back. She can move her organs around and dodge a bullet.
I'm not saying that I mind that she's back. I was just kind of wondering more along the Rogue side since they showed that, you know, because she always had this sort of dual personality with Charlie Danvers' personality coming through. I was kind of wondering if that's still within her to have that
Maybe.
side of Mystique coming through.
I will say you will see a lot of Mystique in the pages of Wolverine, you know, the rest of this year and in the coming months. So yeah, sure, there's a chance we'll be addressing some. I mean, there's still a lot of stuff to address with Mystique. I don't know that we've ever seen much of a reaction from her to Nightcrawler's death. So there's a lot of stuff to play with.
Cool, thank you.
My main question was, when are you guys going to do anything with the Exiles again? I love the Exiles and the Crystal Palace and the Panopticon, and I mean...
I momentarily referenced them in my X-Force story this
that was because you guys were talking about doing something with Age of Apocalypse and the two main,
Betsy's
Exiles for
sure,
Betsy
and Sabretooth, sure, and that definitely is part of the story. You know, I'm not deep in the continuity, so I'm making sure to be, you know, it's not just a trivial side note or an Easter egg. It's since there is such a character history there, it's going to play a logical role in the story.
Do you know if anyone's ever going to bring the Exiles book back? I mean, we've got 3 of them, and they're great. I'm only missing 2 issues, but...
Yeah, we're well aware of the popularity of the characters and that there's a strong fan base for them. The key thing is, you know, sometimes it's good for a publishing company to take something off the board for a little while, let people miss it, and then figure out the best platform to get that group or that character back in play.
Well, since they're essentially the Captain Britain Corps too, because there's Sage taking over Roman's memories and everything, is there any chance of either Excalibur and Exiles connecting and having those two, you know, dimensional things?
We have plans on dealing with some of Otherworld, with Betsy's history specifically, and some of the things that are coming up. And there will be some interdimensional shenanigans. Captain Britain may make an appearance, and so might Jamie. So it's a big part of Betsy's character, you know, the yin and the yang of her family. You've got Jamie, the psychopathic nutcase, and her brother is the shiny, occasionally sociopathic hero. But yeah, so probably not exactly what you're looking for, but a shade of it.
Right.
Just because the book's out of sight doesn't mean that it's out of mind. There's a lot of editors up in Marvel who are big fans of the Exiles. It's one of those books, just like Runaways, you know, where it's a great book, we all love it. It went through a lot of different incarnations, lots of fan buzz. And now, just like Axel said, it's just a matter of the right person coming around with the right pitch at the right time so we can platform it properly and, you know, really put it back out there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
How you guys doing? I just had actually 2 questions. One was, for the most part, for the last few years, essentially since House of M, the X-Men have kind of been off to themselves. And, you know, I understand you guys are contractually obligated to put Wolverine at least 98% of the books you publish, but other than him, everybody's been kind of off and doing their own stuff and huge and big. But meanwhile, on the other side, I understand Cap and Iron Man have stuff to deal with, but they've been pretty much ignored, and vice versa. And I was wondering at what point are the X-Men as a whole, as a franchise, maybe more integrated in Marvel Universe as a whole?
Well, that's going to profoundly change, and very soon. I can't speak much more to that, but yeah, we're aware of that. The fact of the matter is the X-Men have had their own house to get in order.
Right.
You know, not the least of which is they were, you know, a species on the verge of extinction, waiting for the return of a Messiah child who may or may not repopulate them. So one of the things we've been aware of in the larger Marvel U is that the mutant numbers are dwindling. They're down to like 170 or something like that.
Right.
5 new blips. So really, the key thing is we're beginning to repopulate the mutant species. We're being very careful about how we manage that. We want to make sure the characters that come back have meaning and resonance, and that we can build them slowly and make them important and have a game plan for all of them. But yeah, you know, I think that the X-Men title that I keep referring to is Adjective as X-Men.
Right.
That title is at least an exploratory jab for you fans to show you the X-Men integrated into the Marvel U, teaming up with big Marvel characters and having fun in the Marvel U, but it's only the tip of the iceberg.
Right. Okay, cool. And are there any plans to bring Cable back or do anything with him and Deadpool again?
Cable's dead.
I understand Cable's dead. There's a lot of people that are dead. It's comics.
Yeah.
Nightcrawler's dead. The gentleman's sitting in front of me for crying out loud. But thank you very much.
We'll see.
Hi. Before they went, all the mutants went back to the island, started living on the island. There were a lot of, back for that, there were a lot of mutants who didn't want anything to do with X-Men or anybody else, and they just wanted to live their lives. Now with everything going on, is there still mutants out there who want to be by themselves?
Yeah.
Don't want to do that? And are you going to do stories about that? Or are you planning to do
Yeah, there are mutants that are operating off the grid. You know,
Yeah.
Cyclops made Utopia a haven for mutant kind. It wasn't like everybody went. But it's dangerous out there for mutants. You know, it takes a particular breed of mutant not to go to the epicenter, the Israel, so to speak, for the people. So we're well aware that it's out there, and even with Cerebro and all the rest, it's impossible to track where all mutants are. But yeah, you'll see that. But I think more importantly, you'll start to see the rebirth of the mutant species. You know, the first 5 blips were just the tip of the iceberg.
And back to what he said, any mutants going to be in the future joining the other normal superhero teams.
Well, you see stuff like Beast and the...
Yeah, I really do like Beast.
Yeah. We want the X-Men universe and the Marvel universe to be more overlapped. And we've had a long-term plan for a while. Schism is kind of an opening act to where we're headed in the future with the X-Men. Really, the X-Men have to get their house in order in a major way before we make our next step. We're very excited about where we're headed.
Or their house has to fall completely apart.
Long-time fan, I'm wondering, are you guys going to do anything with the Starjammers, preferably Havoc and Lorena?
Nick Lowe loves him some Starjammers. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But again, it is one of those things where, like Exiles or Runaways, you have to have the right plan. There's no point in doing it as a cool little story that's going to be 5 issues and out. We want to be able to use the right platforms so the Starjammers can find a larger audience and potentially be around much longer than that.
Okay, and the other thing is, whoever put Colossus in the black hole, thank you. I'm a lifetime Raider fan, that's where he belongs.
I have a question about Rogue. I know that Cyclops took her off from any strike teams. I was wondering if you were going to do anything with her, have her put back on the Lex or sleep with her on missions.
Well, the main thing Cyclops did is he realized that Rogue had somehow developed a relationship with Hope. So he's deployed her to keep close to Hope and protect her and be aware of her. I mean, I believe it was in Second Coming, Rogue acted against orders and irresponsibly, and Cyclops was tempted to put her in the brig, so to speak, but he realizes that she seems to have a connection with Hope that can be exploited. Hope is skeptical about Cyclops, a little bit creeped out by her. So I'd say, look for Rogue to stick close to Hope, and look for Rogue in, obviously, in X-Men Legacy. Anything more to say about Rogue?
No, I think there's a lot more coming up.
And I was also wondering, what exactly happened with her powers after she was in X-Men Legacy Savage?
I don't know.
You have to wait and see. That's something that Mike Carey's going to explore in X-Men Legacy.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Also, as you guys leave, we do have X-Schism buttons. The lovely Luzdari is on the left-hand side as you walk out. She's got a big bag of buttons. She's waving right there. You stop by and see her, and she'll be happy to give you a button and a sticker. But we're not shut down yet.
We're not over yet.
We're just when you start leaving. Don't miss out on the
Nightcrawler's
buttons.
going to break dance.
We got 5 more minutes.
Hi. I was just wondering, I see a lot of argument on the internet and even between my friends.
No, really?
Oh, no. I was getting to a point about Deadpool, just about whether or not he's an X-Men character, because I would definitely consider him when he first appeared in New Mutants, and he's on the X-Force now and everything. So I just wanted to know whether you guys would consider him one or not.
Sure, yeah, we view him as an X-Men character. He's like the crazy uncle, though. That's where he ends up on the X-Force. He's got a place in the X-Men universe, but he's too much of a wild card to say he's an official member of the family.
Yeah, that's like how I've always considered him. A lot of people online just say, no, he has his own book, so he's never just going to be an X-Men character. But
Wolverine's got his own book too, so
yeah, but I don't know.
A couple.
Nerds are nitpicky.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I totally follow you. But no, Deadpool is definitely managed, at least editorially, managed as being part of the X-Men universe. His closest ties, we feel, are to characters like Logan, for instance, because of the weapon and programming. So he has this umbilical cord to the X-Men universe, but again, he's crazy. So he pops up, you know. We knew we needed him on Uncanny X-Force. He fit there, and who knows if he'll ever be on the X-Men. I wouldn't bet the farm on it.
We deal a lot with his, where he fits in the team in the current storyline. So in issues 5, 6, and 7, by the time we get to the end of the story, I think it pretty solidifies him in the team, why he's there. All right, good. Thank you.
All right, couple more, and then we'll break.
I just want to say, I love what you guys are doing on the X-Books, other than killing off Jean Grey.
We didn't do that. That happened before.
I know. I know. And every little redhead comes up here seeing the ask her, you guys bringing her back. So my other question is, Bishop was the man until he went to the dark side. And do you have any plans on bringing him back?
Well, I'd argue he didn't go to the dark side.
Well, I know he felt that hope was, you know, the apocalypse of the mutant race.
The story isn't done yet. The fact of the matter, this is the thing we stand by at every turn. Bishop is not a bad guy. When Bishop pursued hope in the time stream, he did it. It's like if you had a chance to go back and kill Hitler, what would you do? You follow me? He has in his universe, she is the apocalypse. That is what he sees as the future. And so he makes the tough moral call that however much it pains him, he needs to take her down. Cable conversely sees a very different future, but quite frankly, you took both men and they saw different futures. I think you'd see Cable doing what Bishop's doing, the Bishop doing what Cable does. This is not an irrational mustache twirling or Jerry Curl rubbing. You got that right? Jerry Curl rubbing guy. He's long and short of it is he has good reason for what he's doing.
I know he's flowing into the far future. Will he be coming back at any point? Or is
Absolutely not. Ever. No. You kidding? You kidding? We don't need him. He's gone. Never.
Obviously, there's a lot of love for the ex-students, and I'm wondering, I see them and I think that they could be as iconic as the X-Men that were introduced in giant-size X-Men. They've got great visuals, they've got great personalities, they've got connections with each other. What's it going to take to get them their own title?
More people like you saying we want them in their own title. Again, it's not far-fetched that will happen, but you don't build great characters overnight. You look, you prop them up, you get them in big stories, you have them do big things, so that there's more people like you who want to see them and feel that they can anchor a book. It's hard to launch an ongoing series. We need to know. We need to have a lot of confidence that there's a fan base out there for it. That's why we wait to be able to do something with Exiles. We all love Runaways. We've got to have the right platform for it.
Jason, I'm loving what you're doing with Punisher Max. Absolutely love it. I don't know if you've ever done anything in the past with Deadpool, but would you ever consider doing something with Deadpool?
Sure, I would consider it. I've written one short Deadpool story, that's it.
Okay. Right, thank you.
So yeah.
All right. Well, hey, thanks everybody for coming out. We'll be down at the booth, throughout the course of the weekend if you want to stop down and chat more. And these guys will be signing.
Brought to you by Tfal.com, the world's best online retailer of comics and collectibles. Whatever you're into, we've got just the thing for your collection.